Welcome to the Weekly Mac. We're kicking off a brand new season with a chat with the acclaimed Catalan writer and journalist Martí Gironell. We'll be dancing to the rhythm of Koko-Jean and The Tonics. And how do Catalans see America? A new reporter is walking our streets, Hannah Becker. This is the Weekly Mac, your TV show in English, hosted by Marcela Topor.
Hello, we are thrilled to be back with a 2-hour show and our battery is fully recharged. So, there's plenty of ways for you to practice your English, to have some fun and learn a few new things, such as words and facts. Let's say hello to today's contributors, Ana Priscila Magriña, Marisera, and of course, our new reporter, Hannah Becker. Well, you may know Hannah because she's already been on the Weekly Mag. She's an American comedian from New York, based now in Barcelona. So tell us, Hannah, welcome in the first place. How would you describe Catalans?
Well, as someone with a very intimate knowledge of many Catalans, I'll tell you, bigger than I thought they would be. But no, honestly, I love Catalan people. I think that they're really generous, open, warm people, and yeah.
Okay.
All good stuff.
Not all of
All
them, I
positive
can tell you.
stuff.
Well, that's with people in general, right? But
Okay, Hannah, we are all quite curious to find out about the subject of your first video for the Weekly Mag.
yeah, so I was also curious to hear what people around here thought about Americans, my home country. So I went out, took a nice little stroll around the beautiful neighborhood of Gracia, and yeah, I got some interesting answers. I thought it would be really easy, but
It wasn't easy?
no, yeah, there were some attacks. You'll see in the video.
Attacks, such as...
Well, you'll
Verbal attacks.
Okay,
well,
I presume.
I'm curious.
you'll see. Oh, say, can you see?
At the twilight's last gleaming.
So you have a good impression of Americans.
No.
Yeah, so you saw it there. I don't know, it was more of an attack, the dog or that guy's singing voice, to be honest.
But I'm sure it was non-intentional.
I ended up with a very sweet reward that you'll get to see later on in the report. So
And your legs, the scratches, that doesn't hurt anymore, I
no,
suppose.
it's fine.
It's all
fine.
gone.
Yeah. We made friends, me and the dog. We're cool.
Okay, we look forward to watch the video, but today we also have Marisera, who is going to give us some insight into everyday idioms, right?
That's it. And we are going to talk about legs as
Legs.
well.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, but some idioms about legs that I'm not going to reveal via now.
Okay.
And let's keep that under wraps.
Okay.
Like, of course, our final guess word at the end of these words and facts.
Okay, that's plenty of stuff, but let's get right down to cases and start off with our expert on popular culture and strange things, Ana Priscila Magriña. She debunked quite a few myths last season and now she's back with a new section.
When you say expert, I always think maybe I should do like this. Expert. Yes, as you said, I debunked a lot of things last season, but you know what happens? People watch things on TV and they already think they are experts on any subject. So every week I'm gonna bring you a subject and I'm gonna tell you 5 maybe obscure, maybe curious, maybe fun, maybe the 3 of them, things about that subject. What do you think about
Sounds
that?
interesting.
Okay.
Any specific topic you want to start with?
Yes, I will start with the Loch Ness Monster.
Wow.
I'm sure
impressive.
you have all heard about
I love it.
about Nessie. And you know the Loch Ness is the biggest by volume of the biggest loch of Scotland by volume, and it has this. Well, we would like to think that it has this monster. It's a mythical monster. And the first thing I want to tell you about Nessie is that she is a she, or the monster is a she. We always
Okay.
think in Catalonia we say el monstre, we say it in masculine, but it's actually a she, and I didn't know that before, and I'm a really big fan of Nessie. If you ask any Scots, they will tell you it's a she. So, hooray For the
Yeah, I
lady
think it's
monster.
nice that the monster is a she.
Yeah,
not?
feminism right there. Women supporting women. I love
Yeah, even though if they're scary, you know,
Yeah.
like there has to be
it. Takes all kinds.
she monsters.
Actually, if you look at the pronunciation, I'm sure Marius will agree. IE, if it ends in IE, that's feminine, right? So it's a hint as well.
My
The-
bad English didn't let me see that it was a she all these years. Sorry
Well,
about
never
that.
mind, never mind. Okay.
Number
So-
two, the legend is actually much older than we might think. There was this famous picture in 1934 that made the monster even bigger, and some people might think that it has been just known from the beginning of the 20th century. But the truth is that it dates back in the 6th century at least. We have to go back to the year 564, and we have to talk about Saint Columba, an Irish abbot, that he did a miracle in the loch. There was a man, he was attacked by the monster, and the abbot said, "Get away from the man." And apparently, the monster got away, and the man was saved. So this was a miracle. Okay, you don't seem so impressed, guys. I'm sorry.
Well,
But the monk was a she monk or a
I think it was a
male?
him monk.
A he monk.
Number three, Nessie makes millions for Scotland. It is a really big thing there. Everybody in the world knows her, and around 1 million people visit the area of Loch Ness every year. I'm guessing not this year, unfortunately. And it makes usually $38 million in revenue. There are cruises to hunt Nessie. There are key rings. There are earrings. There are toys. You can find ashtrays. You can find anything about Nessie. And not just in the area of the Highlands. You go to airports, you go to shops around Scotland, and you can buy anything about Nessie. I don't know if you have something about Nessie at your places yourselves.
Yeah,
You do?
definitely.
What do you have?
Well, I have some books
Okay.
to start with, but I've got an ashtray.
You have an ashtray.
Yeah.
You send me a picture one of these days
Okay.
of the ashtray.
okay. So Nessie is a very profitable pet. No wonder that the Scots love her so much.
Yeah, maybe in Banyolas they should like
Take note of that,
take
right?
note of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good for them.
So guys, I don't know if you have a lot of time in your hands, but if you're bored, you must know that there is a 24-hour webcam that shows you the lock. So you can just stay in front of the computer and maybe the monster appears at any time
Or not.
or not.
Most of the time.
And you can even make your own scavenger hunt with Google Street View. So you can go under the water and visit the lock. I don't know. It's up to you. You're a really
Interesting.
big fan. Maybe you should do it every once in a while.
I didn't know that, but
It's quite
I used to
incredible,
be.
right?
I was a fan. Yeah.
There's actually people searching for the monster still. There has been for a long time people searching for the monster, but there's people that have dedicated their own lives to search for the monster, and this is the fifth and last fact that I bring you today. There is a Guinness World Record for the longest continuous Nessie lookout. There is a guy, Stephen Feldman. He was 24 years old when he decided to quit his job. He was an alarm installer. Well, not very
Exciting.
exciting.
Inspiring.
And he quit his job, sold his house, purchased a mobile home. There was a mobile phone at the time, I'm guessing. And he moved to Loch Ness, and he stayed there for so many years trying to find the monster.
Contemplation.
Contemplation. He actually said, "My life contains freedom, adventure, unpredictability, and the chance of one of the world's greatest discoveries." But he's still looking for it, so.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no wonder.
And this is everything I had to bring to you about.
Well, very interesting, Ana Priscila. I
Our-
have learned, as always with you, we learn new things and very exciting things about Nessie.
New ways to waste time.
Okay, so have you ever been to the lake, to Loch Ness in Scotland?
Yeah, I must admit that when I was very young, at 16 years old, I had read a book by Tim Dinsdale, I have to remember, about this phenomena. And I just traveled, I travel every summer to study English, so I went to the loch and I visited a little museum.
There is a little museum.
And all these about the monk and all the old pictures. So I became a fan of cryptozoology.
Oh, yeah.
That I didn't know it existed. So the sort of monsters like Kraken or Nessie. So that's nice. That's why Adventurers, of course, it's a fiction. It's like a novel, but it's very nice. Yeah.
It's very nice. There are films as well.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to go there because I saw this film which is called The Loch Ness Monster or something like this, or Nessie, and it's very nice. Hannah, is there anything like a similar monster in America?
Well,
They have a president. Sorry.
yeah, well, our president, yeah.
I meant a legendary monster like that.
Oh, he thinks he's legendary. But no, yeah, I'm actually from a town called Sleepy Hollow. So if you've ever heard of
Sleepy
the,
Hollow. Ooh.
yeah,
No
if you-
way. Really?
yeah.
Like the film?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
amazing.
yeah, there's the Headless Horseman was like my high school mascot for all of our sports teams. So we would have, some guy with his head covered come out on a black horse before all the football games. It was pretty
Awesome.
cool. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Wow.
That was,
nice film.
Yeah. Well, I've never actually seen the movie. I just have experienced it in my
The real
in my
thing.
life. Yeah, walking through the cemetery, looking for ghosts.
All right, and now let's go from Scotland to America. It's time to see what Catalans think of the United States and Americans, or at least what they will admit to our American reporter Hannah Becker. Okay, Hannah, so did you get any surprising answers about the Catalans?
Yeah, no, I mean, nothing really surprising. I think people were either really positive or really negative, which is sort of what I expected. And I don't know, I mean, I think Americans were pretty nice, relaxed, chill people. So yeah, let's watch the clip and
Okay,
see.
let's do that.
America, land of the free and home of the brave, or land of expensive healthcare and overweight idiots. Whether you've been there or you've seen it in the movies, you have an opinion, right? So I'm here in Gracia to talk to some people about my home country. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let's go talk to some strangers. I just want to know the first 3 words that come to mind when you think of the United States of America.
Oh God.
Oh, say, can you see?
Trump. Sorry.
Racism,
Racism. Large. Big.
crazy,
Dangerous.
Shopping. Consumerism. Consumerism about food.
And stable.
Entertainment, music, like Madonna, like Britney Spears, like
All the good
you know what
stuff.
I mean?
Multilateralism. And of democracy. And of liberty of opinion.
You really like America.
Yes.
Power.
Freedom.
the image that comes into my head also is just literally Donald Trump's face.
Whatever.
Could you try to like pretend to be an American person?
Okay, ow. Give me money.
Oh my God, it's so amazing.
That's great. That's literally how I sound all the time.
I make handcraft, and people of America like a lot of time I feel, oh, this person with a lot of passion and with all this interest, I'm sure it's from United States.
So you have a good impression of Americans.
No.
It's like they like my art, but I don't like them. If you could go to the United States, where would you want to go?
Californication. In San Francisco, I'm gay, and so the LGBT culture there is very prevalent.
You know, it's been a long first day walking all over Gracia, and I think I deserve a little treat. I'm gonna go check this place out.
I get up, wipe my eyes, look outside.
Smells like home. Oh my God, look at all these cookies, these cakes. Ooh. This is the most decadent cookie here. What's inside?
Sneakers, and chocolate chips. Oh my god, so soft.
Americans love decadence, chocolate, sweet sugar, right?
Yes.
Is there anything that you think America doesn't do well?
Oh yes, you guys have to learn how vote. Because after Obama came Trump, what the hell?
Get out and vote, kids. Although it's clear that there's a lot of controversy about America and our politics, one thing is not controversial. We've got the best junk food.
Oh God.
Well, at least you did get your reward in sugar.
Oh yeah.
But you didn't bring anything for us.
Anyway, we've seen there are both good and bad things to be said about the Americans, right? Do you think you got a good sample of the Catalans' opinions?
Well, I mean, the good thing about being in Barcelona is it's a very international place, so I think most of those people weren't even Catalan. So, I mean, you know, we're notorious around the world, us Americans, so the international opinion.
You're from New York.
Yes.
Have you visited America, the States, other parts of
yeah,
the
I mean,
country?
not as much as I've been around Europe probably, but yeah, I mean, the thing about America is it's a huge country. Every part is really different. So it's like you could go to New York and think that America's one way, and then it's not. I don't know. What about you guys? Have you ever visited the U.S.?
I've been into California and I loved it.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Does everyone talk like that?
Yeah, we're all being like this, yeah.
I visited peripheral states because the place I've been more is in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Twice, because I wrote a novel and I went twice.
Oh, of course. So lucky.
Yeah, and so I've been, my first time in America was in Florida because of Dali. There's a big museum about Salvador Dali, but I've never been to New York, for instance, and I have to go, but I've never found the exact moment to go.
Marius, but t-shirts are better in Hawaii than in New York, maybe.
But this shirt is from Hawaii.
Oh, cool.
This is a very discreet one, you know?
Well, I've never been to the West Coast. I've been to New York, indeed. I've been to Michigan, and I've been to Chicago.
Yeah. You guys have maybe been to more places in the U.S. than I have, which is a bit sad.
And I must say I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I loved it. Great people.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was sort of the trend, was people were like, America, maybe not, but the American people are good, right?
Of course, absolutely.
Right?
But
Yeah,
when
they're
you
really
say,
nice guys, yeah.
But when you say American people here, we think about the States only, but all Canadians are American as well,
Yeah.
or Mexicans are American
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
right? And we tend to reduce it just to the States. But people from the States is very nice, and those that come to Europe
Are better, usually,
Yeah.
yeah.
Any good features of American culture that don't appear in TV movies or series?
I don't know, because actually I've been to California and it's everything you see in the movies. And I was for a short time there, so I didn't have the time to visit other places, so I cannot really tell you. Really good junk food, you're
Yeah.
right. I loved it.
That's the thing we do best. Is
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Do you have anything?
No, but for instance, I've never been to New York, but I've watched New York from all points of view, because of cinema, because of television, reading about it.
You
So
feel like
I
you've
feel
already
that
been
I've
there.
When
It's the feeling I had when
Yeah.
I went there. I felt as part of a film or something, because
Yeah.
I felt I had been there before. Everything was so familiar, you know?
Yeah,
So
I had a
it's
friend
quite
visit
amazing.
and was just walking around being like, I know all these, like I've seen this, I've seen that, like it's just like the movies, it's just like the movies.
Okay, so let's move on to words and facts. So far we've dealt with facts, and now it's time for some words and idioms. We've asked people on the street about some of their favorite English expressions, and these are their answers.
When in Rome, do as Romans do. And normally you do that, well actually, whenever you're in a foreign country, you should do as the, locals. So you get used to the costume and, you blend better.
Nah, you're just pulling my leg. It means that you're joking with me, you're teasing me. And it's a good old expression from like 20th century. So I think it's a good tradition to use it, and it enriches the language.
As busy as a bee, that means that you are really, really busy. You don't have time for anything. You have a lot of work. So I like that expression. I think it's cool to be like busy like a bee.
Well, luckily we have our alchemist of words with us, of course, Mario Serra. So, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Pull one's leg and as busy as a bee. Do we know the origins of these expressions?
Some of them. The easiest is this last one, as busy as a bee, because it has a literary origin, a very old literary origin from Chaucer, from Canterbury's Tales. It's a verse that I'll try to read in Old English, but it said, "Lo, such as slighties and subtilities in women be, for I as busy as bees." Well, the idea is that bees are always making things, so they are busy. But let's stretch our legs, right, by paying a visit to Rome, because one of the most popular ones is when in Rome, do as the Romans do. The first appearance in English is from the 17th century by a writer called Robert Barton, which is the man and a traveler as well, who the first white man coming into La Mecca, for instance, right? But why Rome? Why not Liverpool?
Good question.
Why not Lisbon? I've got the answer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because all roads lead to Rome. That's another idiom, but of course it comes from the Roman Empire, where literally all roads came to lead to Rome. And there are two more idioms related to Rome because of its importance in the antiquity. Rome wasn't built in a day. You know the meaning of that?
That something that is important.
You have to take your time,
and
complex
effort.
matter, it's an effort. For instance, for the coronavirus vaccine, you have to take your time. So you could say that Rome wasn't built in one day. But the other one, it's fiddling while Rome burns. That one makes us think about a poor emperor, Nero, that was
accused.
He was accused of fiddling while the Rome was in flames. Well, I've got two things about that priests would appreciate because they debunk that myth.
Yes.
First of all, is that there were no violins, so no fiddles, in the first century Rome.
Oh, of course.
And Nero was supposed to play a lyre, which is this little instrument, so no fiddling. And the second one is that some historians like Suetonius accuse him of being the culprit of that great devastation of Rome, but others don't. So it could be fake news. It could be falsely accused of that.
Okay, what about the expression, "you're pulling my leg"? Interesting one.
Yeah, well, pulling my leg, as the viewer has said, is like deceive someone, but in a very humorous way. I mean, it's a playful way. In Catalan, we don't focus on the leg, but on the belly. Aixecar la camisa. So to pull up your shirt.
That's something different in America. If you're pulling up your shirt.
Well, if you do that in America, it's not the same. But in Catalan, it's an equivalent, right? But the thing is that pulling my leg has no clear origin. There are diverse possibilities. One of them is very curious, and some people call hangers-on were hired at public executions to hang on the hanged man.
No way.
And to have a quick end, to give him a quick end, right? That's true historically, but it has no relations with the meaning of the idiom, so it seems to be sort of false etymology.
It's a bit dark, yeah.
But I prefer another one, which is quite clear and quite funny. I don't know if you have ever heard shake a leg or show a leg to mean hurry up, let's go, to the idea, come on, right? How would you say show?
I would say shake a leg.
Shake a leg, not show, but well, both are there. It has a Nautic origin, very funny, yeah. When ships were restricted at the port, restricted their crews not to come out of the ship, but because they don't want them to desert, right? But they allowed the married shipmen to take their wives with them. So it was quite a little messy, but they slept together. But in the morning, when they have to start working, because it was time, the officer shouted, "Show a leg!" And if you show soft legs, soft and curvy, you could rest. But if you show a hairy leg, you had to go to work immediately because you meant to be one of the shipmen, right?
Oh,
that's
I think I would have to go to work if they did that to me right now.
Well, maybe.
I'm telling you, Marius, believe me.
Interesting one, and funny as well. Okay, I think we are reaching the end of words and facts, but not without the guess word, of course, which is the word puzzle by Marius Serra. We finished last season, I remember very well, with a long and difficult word, which on top of everything had 2 different spellings. What about today, Marius? Is it a long and difficult word as well?
It's short. But I don't know about difficulty because you never know about that.
With you, it's always
Let's
difficult.
try.
Come on.
I'm not an easy man.
You're not an easy man.
So,
let's see.
Here's the clues.
Okay.
To transfer goods between prisoners in a small room. 4 letters. To transfer goods between prisoners in a small room. 4 letters.
Puzzle lovers, there you go. Find this guess word on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. You can post your solution there until next week. Hannah, do you know the word already?
I can't say I
Any
do.
ideas?
But don't say it if you know.
No, yeah, I'll go on social media and I'll comment.
Okay, Hannah, you still have time to think about it. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, see you.
And Anna Pris, do you know it?
Of course. I don't.
Of course not. Of course not. I thought so. Well, see you in 2 weeks as well.
Okay, thank you.
And Marius, see you next Saturday.
See ya.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
And now we are going to introduce a funny new video section that everyone can relate to. How well do parents know their children and the other way around? We put parents and children to the test. Let's start with Dera Laskin and his daughter Klina, who admit that they share the same passion for food and Cluedo games. This is Family Tales.
My name is Dara Luskin. I'm 51 years old and I'm from Dublin, Ireland.
Hello, I'm Klina Luskin. I'm 8 years old and I'm from Barcelona. One of the things, if I go to my friend's house and they have a trampoline, I can't jump on it because I twisted my ankle 8 times.
I'm hungry, is the phrase.
Yes, that's so true.
When she wants food, she comes to me for snacks.
That is kind, funny, and that's it. I don't know.
I'm always hungry.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
True. We're always hungry.
We're always hungry.
Okay, I'm done. Oh! I like mysteries. So I like mysteries and I like to solve them. That's why I like it. I think I have an idea what it is, but I'm not sure.
Think about it.
Okay. Oh yeah, I knew it was sandia, but it's just you always eat peach, so I thought or sandia or peach
Or orange.
or orange.
See, this was a pretty difficult one actually.
He has like 3 favorite fruits, so I just put peach. But he eats it every morning. I don't have my mom's hair. I have my mom's eyes. I have kind of the hair like my dad, and the face and the nose. It's like my dad, and some parts are from my dad and some parts are from my mom.
But I think you're going to be taller than your mummy. That's for sure. Me or you?
Me or...
We know the answer to that. You don't know the answer?
No.
I think that, yeah, Kleena is definitely the most affectionate, you know?
Yeah, me. Yeah. Definitely me.
She's always hugging Daddy and kissing Daddy and, you know? Which is great.
More kind one or something, because I am always hugging and kissing.
Do you love stories? Do you like medieval history? Then you're lucky today. In a moment, Martí Gironell talks about his new novel, Paraula de Jueu. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Would you pay thousands of euros for a pair of shoes? Norman Vilalta is one of the top bespoke shoemakers in the world and spends about 200 hours on each pair of handmade shoes. We've paid him a visit at his workshop in Barcelona, and this is his portrait.
I'm Norman Vilalta. I'm a bespoke shoemaker. I'm an artisan.
What can I do to please you? What can I do or say?
I'm from Patagonia, from Argentina. I used to live in Buenos Aires. I went there to study law. I had my degree in law. I'm a lawyer, and I practiced law for 10 years. And then I switched for becoming an apprentice in a bespoke shoemaking place in Florence in order to learn the craft of bespoke shoes. And then I settled down here in Barcelona. I opened my workshop here in Barcelona. And it was a bespoke workshop till today. And also we make ready-made shoes. I'm not a shoe nerd, you know, I make shoes because it's my way of expressing and also it's my way of changing things. I haven't been like a crazy guy about shoes my whole life. I was more interested in arts than in shoemaking. But with shoes I can understand and I can communicate. We're artisans, so our tradition has centuries and centuries, probably more than 1,000 years as we know it right now. We are members of Cofradía de San Marcos, which is our guild of craft, and it's the oldest in the world. It's from 12th century. What makes us artisans is not the handwork. We're not like manualistas. We're not just working with our hands. We're working with knowledge. So always in an artisanal work, the most important thing is what you don't see. Always, always. To avoid the technique, to live on the side of the technique, first you have to have it. Otherwise, you cannot leave something inside that you haven't had before. So what we try here is just to improve those techniques. And that's difficult because you have to take risks, you have to fail a lot. But that's the only way we understand being artisans. You can make a shoe like repeating the old technique, the technique you learn, and then you make an artisanal work. For us, it's not that make us artisan. It's about the knowledge and changing it, the act of changing it, the act of adding something that make us artisans. The act of just replicating the old technique, it makes us a museum. We're not a museum. 16, 18 years ago when I started, there were no so many apprentices trying to learn a very ancient craft. Today there's plenty, and I think it's because the artisanal work is true, so there's no masquerade of that. So everything is true. We are creating products that are gonna last. So we're an option against this fast fashion and whatever. Okay. Of course, we are here in a workshop that is high-end shoemaking, but you don't have to spend 3,000 in an artisanal work. You know, you can have a shoe that it's very nice, very good quality for less price, and that shoe is gonna give you happiness. During the whole life of the shoe, which could be 20 years or 30 years, so you don't have to buy and buy and buy. Everything is getting better also with the age. So that's why I think the artisanal product is it's very true, in a very deep sense. In our society, our work is it could be very relevant.
13 years after publishing the best-selling historical novel El Pont dels Jueus, The Bridge of the Jews, the award-winning author Martí Gironell returns to the characters of that book with a sequel, Paraula de Jueu, Jew's word, which has allowed him to carry out plenty of research concerning the origins of his hometown, Besalú. Well, Martí Gironell, welcome.
Thank you very much, Marcela.
It's a pleasure to have you at the Weekly
No,
Mag.
it's my pleasure to be here with this opening show in this new season, so best wishes to you and to your team.
Thank you so much. Well, Martí, let's see. We'll obviously talk about your book, but I would like to begin with a curious fact that many people might not know about you, the fact that you have a degree in English philology from the University of Barcelona.
Yes,
so
right.
Tell us, why did you decide to study English, an English degree, and what's your relationship with English?
Well, nowadays it's a curious relation because I don't use much this enormous language, which I love and appreciate. But when I was young, when I was 14 years old in Besalú, in my hometown,
okay.
I began to work as a tourist guide. And I was very interested in explaining the story of my hometown to all the people that came to Besalú. First, I began doing it in Catalan, in my mother tongue, then in Spanish, and then I thought, well, why not in English?
Of course.
And I began to study English there in my school. And when I go to the institute, I just saw that this language was very nice, and I was very
interested, right?
Yeah,
in
and then when I was 19 years old, I came to Barcelona to have these studies and to have the degree in la Universitat de Barcelona, and I was 5 years of my life that I remember that were of discovering authors, discovering English literature, drama, with professors that opens you a universe that I didn't understand, first of all, but then studying all these kind of plays and novels discovers authors like Toni Morrison, for example, W.B. Yeats, William Shakespeare plays, and
course.
it was a great experience.
And then you became a writer yourself. Actually, on your website we can find information about this book in English, which is called Once Upon a Time. So tell us, I think it's a very interesting project, so tell us why in English and what is it about?
This is a very interesting project that comes out of the mind of my cousin, Martí Gironell, who is an artist, a painter, and told me he used to work his paintings in English, and he
very nice drawings, illustrations, by the way.
Yeah, then we can show there some of the illustrations that are in the book. So this is a story called Once Upon a Time, Stories from Tale Town, because every night in millions of houses around the world, the same ritual is repeated again and again. No? The grandfather or the dad or the mom comes to tell a story to his or her children. But what happened then, once the child has fallen asleep, what happens to these characters of these fairy tales? No? We decided to create a wall in Tale Town where these characters have their ordinary lives, and then it comes out like a book, because this is the catalog of the exhibition of the paintings of my cousin.
Okay.
And there is a tale of 10 pages about the stories that happen in that Tale Town, in that village.
About the 10 most popular fairy tales,
the 10
right?
most popular fairy tales. That is, for example, you can see the possibility to understand why the wolf is so in love with the Little Red Riding Hood, why Alice in Wonderland have a very special relation with the rabbit, why the brave tin soldier have a very exciting life. So it's an approaching, it's an adult approaching to that period, in that
characters.
Yeah, and in this universe that comes out of the childhood to that territory that we never want to forget, but we have to live this because then we become adults. No?
Okay.
And the story was very nice because join literature and art painting, and then we go to libraries, to bookshops, to art galleries, and it was very, very nice experience.
Okay, but we want most of all to talk about your book, your latest book, which we have here.
Yeah.
It's called Paraula de Joeu. It is a bestseller, by the way. In it, you reconstruct the society of Besalú, Barcelona, Girona in the 14th century, and you tell us the story of Kim Llombart, the story of Esther, and many other characters. So let's see where the story begins, and especially for those who haven't read the first book.
It's not necessary to have read The Bridge of the Jews to understand Paraula de Joeu, Jews word, but because it's the natural continuation. I mean, it's the second chapter in a way. Yeah? It's this second part. There are some connections between the two books, of course, because it's the construction and the reconstruction and the rebuilding of the Romanic bridge, but there's the confrontation of the Jews with the Christians in that period, the 14th century, in the medieval Catalonia, that both communities were living a very extraordinary episode chapter of our history. And then the story comes out of the Bridge of the Jews because one of the characters, the main characters, Pere Baró, is going to rebuild the bridge. I mean, the one that has been destroyed by a storm. But at the same time, there is another plot in the novel that comes to Barcelona with Kim in the first row. That is the possibility to see how another bridge has to be rebuilt.
Okay.
About these bad relations that are coming to, I mean, creating this generation of problems between Judaism and Christianism, but not because something special, but maybe sometimes because of rumors and fake news that someone is interested in spreading all over this new community.
Actually, in both novels, the bridge is clearly a metaphor or a symbol between about the relationships between the two communities, the Christians and the Jews.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this special relationship between the two communities, and what made you write about this?
In fact, after having a lot of work of researching, you come to a conclusion that the Jews and the Christians were not much different as the how can I tell you that way? The church authorities and the royal court wants to show. And you can see through the novel that it's needed to rebuild this relationship, because through words, there are the stones of this bridge, through words like willpower, will, love, respect, are the fundamental tools to create this relation of understanding, of dialogue with the other, with the one who is different, that has came to your country because they were kicked out of France by the king of France, and they came to our country. We open our homes because we are this kind of society, and there were some people in the power that were not agree with and comfortable with this kind of relationship. But the normal people, the people on the street, didn't have this feeling and this relation. They work together, they love together, and they live together. I have read some documents about this.
Actually, now that you mentioned documents, I must say that both books are very fascinating. They're like a mirror towards the past, no? Because you can. There is a lot of details about law, the Catalan law, the customs,
traditions,
the commerce at that time, the traditions, even cuisine.
Yeah.
Like a lot of recipes from that time. So tell us, how did you do your research about this book? Actually, about those.
You said it before in the introduction. After 13 years, I have been more than 10 years doing this job, because it's a very slow and tough job.
A lot of details.
Yeah, because you have to go and meet with one authority in Judaism who will give so much information about tradition, but also some others that will give you recipes from the Judaism cuisine, but from the medieval recipe. Because I think that with this research, with this information, you can you take the hand of your reader to invite him or her, to invite them to a trip. To a trip to another period.
Exactly.
And you need to.
You also, I must say that I really liked some anecdotes that you share with the readers, and one of them is something which we take for granted, such as washing your hands. And I didn't know. I found out in your book that it has a Jewish origin. So do you think these anecdotes are the best way to get people interested in history?
Yes, of course. And it's like this anecdotes that you can understand that we are not so different from that period and from the people that lives in that times. Although he was Jew or was Christian or was Muslim, no? And look at this kind of example of washing hands or the recipes on the table. It's a way of understand how they live, how they relate, and how was the society exactly, and that you have to understand why they came to that situation. Through these details, I think, and it is because of the job of researching, you can reach this capacity and to this ability to the reader to came into the period and feel what they feel and explain the story through the people that suffer that moment.
I wanted to say that in these 13 years you did a lot of research for the book, but you also wrote other books, and one of them is La Força d'un Destí, which actually won the Ramon Llull Award in 2018. It was translated into English. We have it here. It's called
Stars in His Eyes.
In His Eyes, very nice title. And in this book is about a character this time, about a person, Jean Leon. So why did you choose him? Is life stranger than fiction sometimes?
No. It's fiction again, but based on a historical character, a man that it exists, a self-made man, in fact, called Ceferino Carrion, and the novel explains.
Nice name.
Yeah, because he came from Santander, but then with his family came to Barcelona for some reasons that you will find in the book, and the reader will find in the book. But he was a dreamer. He was a person, a man with ideas, with ideals, with dreams, and with this fascism, with this kind of fascism that in the late 40s and the beginning of the 50s was in Spain and in Barcelona. He realizes that it wasn't the place. So he goes with two friends, he went to the United States, and then the novel explains how Ceferino Carrion became Jean Leon in the golden Hollywood of the 50s and the 60s.
Okay, we really recommend the Stars in His Eyes to find out
Elizabeth
about
Taylor,
his adventures.
Marilyn Monroe, Paul Newman as his best friends.
Okay. Well, talking of cultures and other languages, we know that the UK, particularly England, has a love-hate story with French culture. English speakers often even say, "Excuse my French," when they swear. But in fact, no other language has influenced English like French. Pay attention to Mark Broderick's first language tip about words borrowed from French.
Hi, or bonjour as you might say in French. So today I'm going to tell you a couple of French words that have crept their way into the English language over the last couple of hundred years, okay? The first one we're going to start with is a connoisseur. A connoisseur is an expert in something. For example, the woman is a wine connoisseur. She smells the wine and can tell exactly where it is from. The next one we're going to say is a je ne sais quoi, which happens to me quite often because I don't know what I'm talking about. However, a je ne sais quoi literally means something that you don't know. So, give you an example. Mona Lisa has a je ne sais quoi smile. You don't really know whether she is smiling or not. Next one. RSVP, or in French as they say, répondez s'il vous plaît. Literally means if you have a card from a wedding and somebody has invited you, written at the bottom it says RSVP. Please respond and tell them whether you're going or not. Okay, so the next time you're invited to a party it says RSVP, you say yes or no. And last but not least, a faux pas. A faux pas is something that you commit in a social situation. It's something that is out of line and should not be said, okay? So imagine that you ask your boss, "Hey, how's your mother doing?" And you didn't realize that your boss's mother had died 3 years ago. So there you go. Whatever you do not commit faux pas and always RSVP to the right parties. Thank you.
We are talking to the writer and journalist Martí Gironell about his latest book, Paraula de Jueu, a sequel to El Pont dels Jueus. And now we'd like to look a bit deeper into literature and in general and historical novels in particular with our contributor Carlota Bonet. She is a PhD in Catalan philology and she's also taught in the United States. Carlota, hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming. So tell us, Carlota, did you enjoy the book?
I enjoyed it very much. It's a great page turner, and I'm amazed at how immersed in that time period I felt while reading it.
Thank you very much.
What caught your attention about this novel?
I'm very curious. I was very curious about the Jewish community here in Catalonia. I mean, there are a lot of things I could signal and point out, but the Jewish community fascinates me, and I learned so much about it when reading Martí's book. So I'm very, very happy with my read. Basically, I mean, this is a historical novel, right? Because
Yes.
it happens in the 14th century, and but there are many kinds of historical novels, and the ones centered in the Middle Ages are a genre in their own, right? So I would like to know if in any way you feel connected with this tradition that began at the end of the 18th century with the Romantic movement.
Okay, but before Martí answers, we'll have a short break, but we'll be right back.
Do you feel like getting up and dancing? If you don't worry. In a few minutes, the rhythm of Koko-Jean and The Tonics on the Weekly Mag.
Hello, we are back with the award-winning writer Martí Gironell and our contributor Carlota Bonet talking about novels and the Middle Ages. Carlota mentioned that this interest about the Middle Ages began with the Romantic artistic movement. So Martí, Carlota asked before if your novel also follows this tradition.
Well, I don't know if I follow this tradition, but if you look up to the references and to the studies, I am on this trend. But what I feel connected to that movement that begins with Walter Scott and Ivanhoe and Rob Roy and all that kind of titles is this way of looking back at the past and, as I said before, invite the reader to look in any period of the story that you feel it's interesting, and to look how they live. And I thought that the reader is interested in that kind of books, in that kind of genre as itself, medieval novels or historical novels, because they want to be taught what happened when they were there, when they were not living in that kind of periods. And through a novel, I think it's a very way of knowing what was happening when we were not here.
Yes, because it becomes alive, right?
Well, that's the point. Through the research job, gathering a lot of details that allows you to have the reader in the front row and can smell the recipes or what are they eating while they are having an important dialogue for the plot of the story. But you can also see the traditions, how they relate between the court and the church statement, how the market was, how it was the justice. So these kind of details are, it gives you this kind of life that comes out of the pages of the book.
Exactly. And but also in this romantic tradition, I mean, artists were, looking back to the past because for them it was much more poetic, mysterious, enticing. And I'm thinking, do you feel this way as well?
Well, yes, I do agree with this because it's like you have like a myth, no? That period. If I could turn back to that time, sometimes the values were more reliable that time. Such words as I said before, willpower, love, respect were more important. Their meaning was important and it was powerful. And sometimes when you came back to that period through the novel, through the fiction, you are giving to the readers of your ages, of the 21st century, the idea that in that time people were more convinced and have a strong convictions, and that during the past of times and the past of the recent chapters of the story, we have been losing all these values, and it's important to recover them.
We are too comfortable, maybe.
Yeah.
But also, like Marcelo was saying, we learn a lot about medieval Catalonia, and we learn a lot about medieval history with your novel. So, the way cities worked, how territories were governed. as I was saying as well, what the situation of the Jewish people was. So my question is, I guess, if you think that learning about the past, we are going to understand better who we are as a nation.
Well, this is the aim or the goal of all these novels that I have been writing, from The Bridge of the Jews till Word of Jew. The possibility through fiction, as Umberto Eco says, that fiction is a great tool to understand reality. The reality of these past years, but the reality that we have nowadays. So I think that this is the contribution that literature has to do to the society, this possibility to reread the things that occurs in the past, that happened in the past, and then this allows us to understand better how we are working today.
Today, exactly. Yeah. And now that you mentioned Umberto Eco, I wanted to point out that in recent decades, these medieval novels have been very popular with, for example, The Name of the Rose by Eco, Ken Follett, The Pillars of the Earth, also centered, about construction, or even Ildefonso Falcone's The Cathedral of the Sea. So, do any of these novels are reference to you?
Well, the ones written by Umberto Eco, of course,
Definitely.
Because I love that man and the way that he approached the subjects in their novels, about the symbols and the signs and everything. But Ken Follett also, not only with the Pillars of the Earth, but in all the century that he's offering a great and extension view about the 20th century through the lives of ordinary families, and I think that's the fact. And as I said before, I think that people want to read historical novels because it's the possibility to looking back to the past when we were not living that period, so we can learn about our ancestors, but looking at the things that you are showing in your book through a fiction, but with the eyes or through the eyes of that people that suffer that historical moment. And I think that helps you to connect with that reality, to connect with the feelings of that people. And this Noah Gordon, Ildefonso Falcones, Ken Follett, or Umberto Eco has success in doing that.
And you too, because you've been called the Catalan Ken Follett.
Well,
I was like, it's true.
It's not anyone can sell 100,000 copies of a book. I mean, actually,
especially in
El Pont
Catalan.
dels Jueus, exactly, is not a bestseller. It's been called a long seller because it still sells book after 30 years, which is quite amazing.
I love the term. That's the fact. I love the term because it has been sold through the 13 years.
Well, who knows?
But that's the fact. There's a lot of readers, of course, have been buy the book or bought the book on 2007 when it was issued. Now, but how many of them have read the book and didn't appear in any list?
Exactly.
There are a lot of readers.
Yeah. What places from Besalú and Barcelona that appear in the book Paraula de Jueu would you like to recommend to our viewers to visit?
I highly recommend of Barcelona to take a walk around the Jewish Quarter, which is very unknown. It is behind the streets behind the Generalitat Palace, Palau de la Generalitat, and all the place you will see as Salomó Benedret Street, Marlet Street, Arc del Call Street. So you will find all these little and narrow streets, and are very, very, very inspiring to go through.
Actually, Besalú is, I love Besalú, I'm a big fan.
It's beautiful.
Of this town.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
The old town around the Jewish bath, the mikveh, or around the Romanic bridge, or maybe going out of this quarter, going to the monastery, Sant Pere, or Monastery de Sant Pere. Everything is, it's my hometown.
Well,
what I have to say.
When you go to Besalú, it's directly an immersion in the Middle Ages. I visited recently and I was fascinated, absolutely.
Yeah, because the authorities there, there has been working for a lot of time to create this kind of cultural tourism about this Jewish presence, about the Romanic art, about all these kind of cultural inputs that allows you to come to a little village, a Romanic village, with all this charm, no? With all these amazing places to visit and connect it with the cuisine. You can go any restaurants or any bars, and we'll offer you maybe some sample of
medieval recipes or something like that.
Or something
I know that you have that you're a gourmet yourself.
Well,
you're very fond of actually at home. I think you you eat a lot of tasty dishes, right?
Yeah, because
your wife is a chef?
has a YouTube channel called Eva Cuinera, and well, I used to do the everyday cuisine, and she used to cook excellent dishes.
Oh wow, that's
So
you're lucky. You're very lucky.
I recommend you a visit to her channel, and you will enjoy, you and your family.
Okay,
very good.
Well, Martí, do you enjoy being on the other side of the camera? I mean, because now you're being interviewed, but you used to interview because you're a journalist as well. So do you miss it?
No, I don't miss at all. No, I don't miss at all. I was 15 years in working in television, and I was on radio stations before. I have been working on communication on that side of the camera. It was a very nice period. I learned a lot, but I decided to quit this job because I wanted to concentrate my efforts, my energies in books, in literature, and all that surrounds these stories. And that's why I decided, because I didn't find anything that excites me. There.
Well, changes are always good, they
Yeah,
say,
of
right?
course.
And in your case, definitely, it has been a good change.
Thank you. We are working for that.
I mean, it's our gain.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question about something that caught my attention in the book. It's about another book called The Book of Creation, and it plays a huge role in the book. So tell us why.
Yeah, because I understand, reading that book, thanks to Manuel Forcano, who translated into Catalan from Hebrew, that this book was very important for the Jewish community because it means the power of the words. This book, this novel, is a homage to the words. And when I see that Sefer Yetzirah, in this book of creation, was so important because you have to combine 22 letters to create life. Manuel Forcano told me that, you remember when magician said abracadabra, and a rabbit comes out of the hat, and this word is a Jewish word. That means abera kedabera, that means I will create while I was speaking.
Wow.
So, and this is in the book of creation. And once I studied that, I began to thought, well, this can be very important for the plot of the novel because it links perfectly with this idea of defending the words that have been using and losing his value.
And it's a very meta-literary element there because, you know, it's about words, and with your word, Martí Gironell words, you are creating this, recreating this, you know, bringing alive again this historical period. So
exactly. And it was important to see that in that time words were very important. Word was sacred, and it was very, very important. It was in the center of their lives. And through this journey of our society, we have been losing their importance, their value. So.
Okay, well, I think sadly we are running out of time, but now before we finish, Martí, we've got a little surprise for you. Okay? It's the question chain. It's what we call the question chain, which means it's a question for you from one of our last guests. Actually, it was from a chat with a prestigious doctor and researcher. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Manel Esteller. I'm the director of the Josep Carreras Leukemia Research Center. And my question for you is the following. Which one do you think has been the best scientific advance for humans?
Well, I'm not a man of science, but as I was doing the research, I learned about Abraham Descatllà, who was a Jew physician born in Besalú, that worked with Pere III Cerimoniós in the royal court. And I think that but he was not the man who created, but I think that the penicillin is for me, and the antibiotics, I think it's a great advance for humanity.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great answer, I think.
Of course, I mean, and nowadays with what is happening, we understand.
We need the vaccine, for the virus.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure you all agree it's been an interesting interview for all lovers of literature and history. We have here Paraula de Jueu by Martí Gironell. We strongly recommend it. I'm sure you'll love it. Well, Martí, thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks for inviting me. As I'll tell you before, best wishes for you in this new season and your team.
So, by the way, Martí, was this your first interview in English?
Yes, yes, I'm not very used to.
It was an honor for us. I think you did great, and it was, of course, really, really interesting. Thank you so
pleasure.
Much,
I insist, and best wishes.
Thank you. Well, and Carlota, thank you as well, and until next time.
Yes.
See you.
See you soon,
I hope.
Bye-bye.
Yes. And now it's time for music with our musical interview. But before that, let's have a look at a language tip. Learning phrasal verbs may seem sometimes a daunting task, but it doesn't have to be so if you learn a few at a time. Here comes Mark Broderick with 4 very useful and expressive phrasal verbs that are used to talk about money.
Hi. So, back to our favorite friends, phrasal verbs. And today we've got 4 phrasal verbs to do with finances and money. The first one is a simple one, to pay off. Imagine you have a mortgage and the last payment you make on that mortgage means you've paid off the house. The house is now yours. Congratulations. The next one we have is bail or bail out. If you've ever watched a movie about cops, a detective show, or anything like this, you might have come across this expression, which literally means you pay the police department or the judges in order to get that person out of jail. A bailout can also refer to a bank bailout. During a financial crisis, the government bailed out the banks. The next one is quite a funny one. It's one of my favorites, is squirrel away. Squirrel being the little animal that saves the nuts for the winter time. So, like that, you should understand that to squirrel away means to save the money, to put it away, and to keep it for a rainy day. So imagine you have a dental problem, you break a tooth or something. You go to the dentist, and luckily you have some money squirreled away to pay for the dentist. And the last one, but not least, is the complete opposite to squirrel away. It's to splash out. Now, I wish I had enough money to splash out on things. To splash out literally means to throw money at something and not really care about its cost. Football teams do it all the time. They splash out millions of euros on football players. So you get the idea. So whether it is pay off, bail out, squirrel away, or splash out, you have 4 new phrasals for your financial dictionary.
Born in Mozambique but based in Barcelona, she brings such a powerful sense of rhythm on stage that she's been often compared to Tina Turner. After a decade of intense international performances with her old group The Excitements, she is now focusing on her new own band, which she started some time ago. I'm talking about Koko-Jean and The Tonics.
Hello.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, Koko-Jean. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Me too, because I'm a big fan of yours, I must say. Okay, tell me, first of all, why did you decide to go on for this change from The Excitements to The Tonics? What happened?
Well, I think it was a very important change for me in a personal and professional level, because I had been born and raised with The Excitements as a singer. Yeah. It was the first project I was ever professionally working with music. I just got to Barcelona. I saw on the ad that there was a band that was looking for a singer. I was working in something else, and I just threw myself into music, and I bet for music, and that's how my music career started with The Excitements 10 years ago.
Right,
and,
you were coming from the United States, maybe?
Yeah, I was coming from the United States, straight out of university, but I never decided music as a career. And so
What did
with
you
the
study?
excitements, English literature and communications, yeah, and education. So I kind of had, yeah,
Very different.
I always say I went from Shakespeare to James Brown. You know,
Wow, that's a good quote.
That's my, yeah. And so, you know, with the excitements, it was very intense. 10 years, we took off very quickly. It was an amazing project.
Yeah, indeed.
Worldwide. I never thought it was going to become that sensation, and I became a stage monster, to say. I developed a stage persona, which
The
is
new
what...
Tina Turner?
Well, it's what rock and roll inspired in me. I'm that type of a woman. I'm that type of a fierce woman with something to say that has, you know, is not afraid to talk about heartbreaks and how we women need men or use men or you know, all of these things that we women go through. And on stage, I could really project that through dancing and singing. So that was my starting career with the excitements. But then, you know, after 10 years, some relationships need a divorce and to fall in love again. And let's just say that's where I'm at right now.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Tonics. Who are they, and when did you start working together?
The Tonics for me, they're my Fab Four. They're for me my dream team. They consist of Anton Jarl, that's on the drums.
Okay.
He's a Swedish drummer. There's Danny Baraldes, who's very much into the rock and roll and pop scene. Plays with very big pop rock bands all over Spain and Mambo Jambo.
Yeah.
And we've got Victor Puertas on Hammond, who I call him my Prince of Blues. He doesn't like that. He's one of the best bluesmen, I think, in Catalonia, and he plays the Hammond and harmonica. And he's the brother of Santos Puertas, which was actually the one, Santos Puertas was the one who inspired me to get this project started.
The music that you do now, how is it different from the music that you did with the excitements?
Well, I think that after 10 years of being kind of the face of African American black music and soul music, I think I owe it to the people who followed me so many years to still maintain that, and that's actually where I have most fun. I love rock and roll, I love soul, I love gospel. So I want to stay in there, but the difference with the Tonics is that we're not afraid to experiment the broader spectrum of that type of music in that era. The Excitements had a very concise school of a type of rhythm and soul of a certain decade, and that's what they did. With the Tonics, we try to play around a little bit more with blues. We're more flexible with New Orleans and all of this. So this gives me more space to express and play around with the musicians in a different way. Yeah.
How do you feel when people compare you to Tina Turner?
Oh my gosh. The first time I ever heard that, well, I feel honored. I feel honored to be compared to one of the greatest rock and roll female divas of all times. And it just means that there's a certain type of women who have the same type of energy and feminine power, which is, well, it's about being a woman, but also accepting men and being in that world of competitiveness with men, and just, we're music warriors. And I can relate in that way with Tina Turner. And also in a personal level, what she went through emotionally in her career, there's certain things that I can actually kind of relate to, so it's funny.
Okay, let's talk about your EP Hair Whip, which is a very illustrative title. It relates to the way you move on stage, right? And to this gesture of yours. Can you do it for us a little bit?
No.
Or it's a bit hard now?
Hair whip, basically, you could do it, like I said.
You
could do it because the softer you have the hair, the more you can do it. But this is the dance that every woman does. When they're having a good time, they get on a table, they're letting their hair loose, their men are at home.
It's like letting your hair down,
Yeah,
right?
letting your hair loose, you know? And so doing the hair whip is just whatever you feel like in that moment. But it's girls having fun. It's mainly that.
That's a great definition. This EP, Whip, was produced with Danny Nello. You collaborate with him a lot, actually. You also collaborate with him in your new EP. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, when we thought about someone to produce this album, there was clearly only Danny Nello could do it because he's been part of the Buen Ritmo family for a long time, which is the management that we're working under. And he knows the musicians, he knows Mambo Jambo. He's the founder of Mambo Jambo, which Anton Yal and some of my musicians are part. So, and he, I guess he appreciated my work and I appreciated his work, and we knew how to work together. And so it just made sense that he was the perfect producer for it. He's a musical mentor for me. I'm such a fan, and it's just an honor to have him on. And then on the second album, which is about to release, not
Please,
yet.
Mr. Milton,
Please,
right?
Mr. Milton, yes. This one is, it's a dedication to a composer and musician from the 1950s and 60s called Little Milton. And we like his music and his repertoire, and so we just decided, let's make a few songs about him and record it, and we sound so great, we just had to make an album. So that's with Danny Nello, and it just sounds fantastic.
Right, tell me, how do you see the situation nowadays when it is so hard for an artist to perform on stage? It's not an easy situation. How do you feel about the whole thing?
I have no words. It's a very saddening. You know, every day someone asks me, and there's just no words. It's like feeling like someone has died in your family and no one goes to the funeral. You know, but it's not just me. It's a whole people.
Right. Today you're going to perform for us a song from your latest EP, Whip. What song is it?
Bus Stop. Yeah, that's
Bus
the
Stop.
single.
Okay,
Yes.
let's hear it. Well, Koko-Jean Davis and The Tonics, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Likewise.
And while the band gets ready on stage, are you an avid reader or do you prefer films? Either way, we have a good recommendation for you. Miquel López from Televisió de Badalona and Salvador Faura from Xarxa de Bibliotecas Municipals de la Diputació de Barcelona are going to show you a couple of titles you shouldn't miss out on.
Women in Love, written by D.H. Lawrence, analyzes the nature of love and of commitment in relationships. If you read the novel, you will follow two sisters and their two boyfriends. It seems that of these four characters, D.H. Lawrence was acquainted with three of them who really existed, and the fourth character has many similarities with his own personality. I think that if we read this book, we will find that we have similarities with one of these characters too, and can probably recognize the other three characters too. Study the nature of human relationships and commitment in Women in Love.
Westerns were very popular for many decades, and probably the best decade for them was the 50s. 1958 was the year of The Big Country, one of the biggest westerns ever made, an epic movie, in fact. What have we got? Well, we've got Gregory Peck, a civilized and educated man that goes to Texas to meet his future bride, Carol Baker. There, he discovers there is a long feud between two families in the Big Country. The leaders of each family are Charles Bickford, Peck's future father-in-law, and Burl Ives, Oscar winner for his role. Then we have got also Gene Simmons and Charlton Heston in one of his few supporting roles. William Wyler directed this movie just before making Ben-Hur with Heston, and then Jerome Moroz was the author of an score that is unforgettable, absolutely unforgettable, and as big as the movie and the country.
A little bit of chat, some tips, a little bit of music, but what about competitions and games? Don't worry, in a few minutes we'll have Guess What? Your TV quiz with Sergi Cervera.
Hey baby, let me remind you, come on. Just here, baby, you don't have to worry. Just give me your number and I'll give you a call. I just wanna get to know you, be cool. For a lady like you, there is nothing I would do. I met him at the bus stop. Met him at the bus stop. Met him at the bus stop. Bus stop. Now it's been 3 years since it happened to me. That boy's not my man and we're happy as can be. So ladies, take my advice and don't make it right. If you're looking for love, buy a ticket to a bus stand. I met him at the bus stop. Met him at the bus stop. Met him at the bus stop. Bus stop, baby. I do remember being December. I do remember being December, baby. You and me, it's a happy thing. I met him at the bus stop.
And now that we're back with our full-time show, there is something we can't do without, and that is our quiz. Guess what? We are delighted to have our quiz master back with us, Sergi Cervera. I must say I've been missing your waistcoats.
And I've been missing you, Marcella. You
Thank you,
and
Sergi.
your good taste. And thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, I expect you brought lots of challenges for our audience.
Certainly, a bit of things new and a bit of things old in a perfect mix, just like the contents of my refrigerator.
Okay, that's what I get for asking. As always, we are having 3 contestants pit their wits against each other.
Let's say hello to our beloved Patricia Scalona, a woman of culture and immense knowledge, which makes me think, why is she accepting to come here and being asked by silly questions by me?
Still have no idea.
Me neither. Ready to participate, Patricia?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, and one of the surprises is that this season we have Matthew Murtha with us as our second competitor. He holds a PhD in molecular biology and he's a stand-up comedian as well. Do tell us a bit more about yourself, Matthew.
Thank you. Well, I'm from the state of Ohio in the United States. And a little known fact about Ohio, but it's the birthplace of the most astronauts of anywhere in the world.
Wow.
Yes, so that just goes to show you how far some people will go to get out of Ohio.
Yeah, science and comedy. I mean, a great combination, plus Ohio.
Yeah, 2 great tastes that taste great together.
As always, we have a special guest contestant. We have decided to invite an old friend of the show, the Irish graphic designer, Killian Cooper. How are you, Killian?
I'm doing great, Sergi. Thank you.
Good, good. Nice having you here again.
Absolute pleasure.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
We haven't seen you in a while, so how's tricks?
Well, I spent confinement sleeping indoors mainly, you know, because I had to get ready for being a father again. So our baby girl arrived about a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to have
Congratulations.
Mini Cooper is here.
All right, let's begin this new season in a big way. Our first round today is going to be a multiple choice challenge about famous quotes. These deep thoughts set on the background of a beautiful sunset will enlighten us about human nature and intelligence, and in particular about the people who post it on our Facebook wall. We'll tell you the beginning of some famous quotes and you have to find the right ending. Friendly reminder, 1 point each right answer. Okay? Ready, guys?
Okay, so the first quote is attributed to the Chinese philosopher and politician Confucius, born in the 6th century BC, and it goes like this.
Everything has a beauty.
But how does it continue? Everything has a beauty. A. But not everyone sees it. B. Everything has a beauty if you really look into it. Or C. When you're drunk as a fish.
Well, it's true.
We all want to answer when we're drunk as a fish.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
The
one
beer
is
goggles.
the right one, but the one who has been said by Confucius?
I'm going to go B. It sounds more Confucius style.
More Confucius style.
Yeah.
If you really look into it.
I'm confused, but yeah, I'm
Rather
going to go
than
with B.
we all know that the right one is the C option.
No, confused? I am
But
confused
probably
too.
Confucius didn't. So, okay, you're going with C, Killian?
No, B.
No, B. C is the one.
C is how I
we
live
accord that is
day
the
by
right
day,
one.
but yeah.
All right, Matthew?
Yeah, I have to go with C here. I believe that
Even Confucius knew that that was the right one, right?
Exactly. Anytime that you can work drinking into it, it's got to be the confounding answer.
Well, okay, I'm wishing you get the points, but we will see about it. Patricia?
I'm going to go with A.
A. So
Yeah,
we've got
sounds good
A,
too.
B, and C. Incredible.
Yeah.
Right?
So at least one of us gets a point. That's
At least
good.
one of you get the point. And the person who's getting the point, unfortunately, is Patricia. I mean, unfortunately, because we all wanted the C option to be the right one. But I must say that, despite the fact that the three of them reveal truth, but the right quote is everything has a beauty, but not everyone sees it.
That's right. So we have a question for you guys. Do you think this is true? Do you think everything has beauty?
I'm still looking for Sergius. So,
That's
yeah.
what I was. That what I was
I know he
hoping.
has it
I
somewhere.
I knew that you were going to that direction.
It's behind the waistcoat.
Yeah,
Beauty
probably.
lies, yeah, once he opens it.
Just for the right person. Might be you, Patricia.
Oh, there we go again.
There we go. Again.
Some
New
things
season,
never change.
New love story. No, things never change.
It's absolutely true, yeah. I mean, sometimes some people you got to deep dive a bit more, but you know, eventually you'll find beauty somewhere, and a bit of alcohol helps as well.
That's what I was going to say. If you combine C and A, you'll get drunk enough and you'll see the beauty in everything.
I was hoping you put the signs on it.
I think we deserve a point just for that, yeah.
Let's move on with another quote, but this time by a Hollywood Golden Age actress.
Exactly. Audrey Hepburn once said that nothing is impossible.
But how does it continue? Nothing is impossible. A. If you follow your dream. B. If you fight for it. Or C. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I am possible.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
I am possible. You see?
I'm
so
gonna
which
go
one is
with,
the right one, according to
C?
you? C. Nothing is impossible. I am possible.
I'm going to go for B, you know. She was a fighter, Audrey.
She was
so,
a fighter.
So I'm going to go with B.
That's the image we all have.
Yeah.
Audrey, the fighter. And Matthew?
I love a good piece of wordplay, so I'll go with C as well. I
C
am
as well.
possible.
I am possible. Okay. So the points are going to both of you because the right answer is C. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. A play on words that could have been done by Mario Serra, but in that case it was done by Audrey Hepburn. Sorry, Mario. All right, and we will finish with a quote about foes by a witty Irish poet and playwright.
So, Oscar Wilde once said, always forgive your enemies.
And the quote goes, A, you will meet them again. Scientifically proven, I think. B, nothing annoys them so much. Or C, especially if they have a brick in their hands. Which is the right one, or which is the one that had been said by Oscar Wilde?
Given Oscar Wilde's past, I'm going to go with C. I think he was just like a famous partier. I think that his priorities are going to be the drink in his hand.
He was a badass,
yeah.
right?
And the other question wasn't about drinks yet, so I'm expecting a drink answer.
Okay, you're betting on
That's right.
C. Okay. Killian?
I'm going to go with B again. I've gone B's all the way, but this time I think finally I'm going to come up trumps. Because it's true, nothing annoys them more.
Let's annoy our enemies as much as we can. And Patricia?
You're nothing if you're not coherent, right?
Yes, consistent all the way.
A.
A.
Just because.
You'll meet them again.
Yeah,
just
you'll
because
meet them again.
we know it's
It's
true.
partly true, yeah.
All right, so the points go to Killian.
I knew
Option B, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Well, that was Oscar Wilde's opinion. Probably the brick. I mean, he would have agreed with the brick one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have a score to check at the moment. 2 points for Patricia and 1 point for our guest. Okay, so how do you guys react to unfriendly people? Are you vengeful? Do you try to reconcile, or you just try to avoid them?
Peace and love, you know.
Peace and love.
Peace and love all the way. Yeah.
Matthew?
No, I think you have to go for vengeance.
Okay.
Absolutely. For instance, like let's say a host, preferred one contestant over the other. I would say something like, "Oh, I love your waistcoat."
What was that, man?
No,
what was that?
it looks
what
great
was it
on
supposed
you.
to mean? No,
No.
Okay, it's interesting that you mentioned that because right now we're gonna get ready for the second round, and I'll take that in mind, according to giving you the points. Okay. So I hope you find this easy because it's the speed challenge. What comes next? Okay, Matthew?
Okay, but that will be after a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We continue the Guess What quiz with the Patricia Scalona, Matthew Murtha, and Killian Cooper taking on the second round.
My favorite one, the speed challenge. Just a reminder, Patricia's ahead with 2 points, and right after are Killian and Matthew, who's not gonna get any more until the end of the show. Thanks for you coming on my best. Okay, just another reminder, 2 points for every right answer. You will need to make some noise with your instruments in order to answer. You can tune them if you want. I mean, tune them. Okay, that's a loser attitude, and this is the correct way to. Okay, it's personal, my friend. For this thrilling challenge, we have found inspiration in today's date, October the 3rd, the International Musketeers Day. Seriously, no kidding. And to honor the 3 Musketeers, we will quiz you about popular trios. We'll read 2 members of a group or a gang or 3 people or things, and you have to guess the 3rd member. Remember to use your instruments, okay?
Okay.
So you ready?
Happy
I
Musketeer.
want to apologize. The waistcoat.
No
looks,
way for
no, it looks
apologize. We
fantastic.
just get along very well, right?
It looks great. We can't even tell you gained
Stop
weight.
doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
This is gonna be so fun this season.
Okay, the first one is Athos, Porthos, and
Patricia.
Aramis.
And Patricia.
exactly the 3 Musketeers.
Correct. 2 points to Patricia. Here we go. Giuseppe Carreras, Placido Domingo, and
Luciano Pavarotti.
Luciano Pavarotti, and they were
The 3 tenors.
correct. 2 points to Killian. What's going on, Matthew?
Okay, the
I want
third
them
one.
to win.
You're good.
Here we go.
The third one, Chico, Harpo, and
Killian.
Chico, Harpo, and the Three
That
Stooges,
goes
no?
to- All right, Matthew, goes to you.
Groucho,
That is correct.
Yes,
They were known
correct.
as-
the Marx Brothers.
Correct. Here we go. Chris Novoselic, Dave Grohl, and Matthew.
Kurt Cobain,
And they were known by?
Nirvana.
Correct. 2 points to you. Well done.
okay, 5, Melchior, Casper, and
Balthasar?
yes,
3 wise men,
Show
no?
more confidence.
and Balthazar, the 3 wise men.
Absolutely. 2 points to you. Here we go. Lucy Liu, Cameron, Patricia.
Andrew Barrymore,
Exactly. And they were known as?
Charlie's Angels.
That's correct. 2 points to you. The Charles Angels. Well done.
All right, 7, garlic, olive oil, and
What was that? what was that? You, Patricia, as well?
You are not very
have to do it
convinced?
with some
Oh, I just
strength?
realized that could be the start of a million different dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure,
yes, but
sure.
it's just
I'm
one.
going to say tomato.
Bread.
She started and then you say?
Bread.
And no. Killian?
Oh.
Salt.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Garlic,
Yes.
olive oil, and salt.
The
Alioli.
3 ingredients of the alioli, exactly.
2 points to you, but I love
Wow.
the way he plays it.
Yep.
You know, like I have no idea, but I'm just saying the right answer.
Look at the Irish, yeah.
Exactly. So okay, here we go. Next one, House of Straw, House of Sticks, and
House of Bricks.
House of Bricks, the 3 little pigs.
You're getting worried now, eh?
Oh.
Oh.
I thought that was a Game of
Okay.
Thrones reference.
Me too.
right?
or Harry Potter. I was like,
The
what?
Starks, the Lannister, and
I read the book last night, that's why.
Next
Okay, this is an easy one, right? Joan Roca, Josep Roca, and
Patricia.
Jordi Roca.
Jordi Roca,
And Jordi Roca.
exactly, the Roca brothers.
And 2 points to you. Well done. And here you go. The good, the bad,
And the ugly.
and the. Why are you pointing at me? I said
I thought
Why
that
were you
was
pointing with the hammer? What does that mean?
just coincidence.
Okay, 2
coincidence.
points to you, but you don't deserve then.
Okay, 11. Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and
Patricia.
Hermione.
That is
Hermione
correct.
Granger. That's right, from the Harry Potter saga.
2 points to you. Well done. And last but not least, Father, Son, and.
Whoa, a lot of Catholics here.
When I said show more strength, I didn't have that in mind.
This is how badly I want the win tonight, all right,
Okay,
folks?
okay, I grant you with the right answer, which is?
Was it Hermione?
Patricia, you go.
Holy Spirit.
And Holy Spirit. Exactly. We can see it,
Okay, the
it
Holy
was
Ghost.
already with us.
What did you do to that thing, for God's sake?
Well, I mean,
I'm too strong.
he
Tell
did
us,
it.
guys, are you fans of any trilogies, books or movies or whatever?
My favorite trilogy, of course, is the original Star Wars trilogy.
Agreed.
The other two
Agreed.
did not happen.
Never happened. Agreed. Okay.
Do you ever notice with movie trilogies, like the best part of the trequel is the middle part? Like Star Wars, Godfather Part 2, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back.
Alien
Terminator.
2. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
Always, it's like they don't save the best to last, it's in the middle.
Never thought of. Yeah, good one. Okay. Just a reminder of how the score is. Patricia's leading with 12 points. Killian is right after with 9 points, which means he still can win. And you can win too, but you are a little behind with 7 points and a hammer broken.
I think that should be worth 10 points right there.
It should, but the world is unfair.
Interesting.
Third
Okay.
round
Third
is,
round, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be a true or false challenge. Every right answer will get you 3 points. Marcella is going to read out some curious facts about famous films, and you have to use the signs to say if they are true or they are false. Try not to break them, not looking at
Try not to
anyone
break
here.
anything.
Exactly.
Ready?
We need it. We need them. I mean.
Okay, first fact. The war film Saving Private Ryan was so realistic that it caused post-traumatic stress disorder in combat veterans. Is that true or
Hold it,
false?
hold it, hold it, hold it. Hold it. The rules are, I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1. Show your answers. True, which means, well done, guys. Absolutely, the answer is true. Actually, many World War II veterans stated it was the most realistic depiction of combat they'd ever seen, and many left the theater rather than finishing watching the opening scene. Good one. I mean,
Okay,
worn a helmet there.
well
let's
done.
go next. If you take all the movies of the Twilight Saga, there are 12 minutes of actors just staring. Nothing else. True or false?
Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Show your answers. False, true, which means you are right. Well done. Absolutely. The answer is false. Why is that? Because actually it's not 12 minutes, it's 24.
That sounds about right.
24 minutes of actors just staring. I mean, I repeat, 24 minutes. I mean, as long as the typical sitcom, all right? So it's something like that.
Okay. Hello?
You could have been in that movie, yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to cast myself. There is only one question left. But to make things interesting, we will raise the stakes a bit more. This will be 5 points. 5 points to whoever gets it right. But if you get it wrong, we will take 5 points away from you. Bye-bye points. Okay?
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Ready? During the shooting of Mel Gibson's movie The Passion of Christ, the actor playing Jesus was struck by a bolt of lightning. That's true or false?
Hold your answers. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Show them. True. And that's absolutely true. 5 points for each of you. The lightning bolt struck both the actor Jean Cavaziel and the assistant director. And as the film producer described it, when he glanced over at the actor, he saw, and I quote literally, smoke coming out of his ears.
Whoa.
Whoa! Whoa,
That's quite impressive.
Maybe you could go for that role.
Here we go.
You say that now that you are the loser of today's show.
Okay, let's see. What's the most extreme weather condition you ever experienced?
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the American Midwest. I have seen tornadoes.
I've been in the American Midwest.
Yeah? Why?
Because I was trying to be American and a Midwest American citizen, but I failed.
I've
been in New York in the winter.
Yeah, tornadoes. Oh, and actually, when I was in college, I lived through 4 direct hurricane hits.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like, you know, God is trying to send me a message.
Talking about that, let me self-correct myself a little bit, which means that you're not technically the loser, but to me, you're today's loser. I mean, you're the middleman, but the moral loser.
Is there a mirror, Sergio?
No, I was staring at
okay.
you, you know. And the next time you see a tornado, try to, you know, jump in and then tell us what happened. This is a new love story.
Let's
it used
check
to be
the score
Patricia.
now.
that-
What's the final score then?
The final score means that we have a new winner, which is Patricia Scalona, my beloved Patricia Scalona.
Congratulations.
But new winner in this season. Okay,
I've done this before,
okay.
I'd say.
Okay.
Okay, followed by
many in a row?
Matthew, right?
Followed
with
by
18
Matthew,
points.
the middleman and the moral loser, and my new
And
friend on the
Killian.
show.
17 points for Killian. Well, Killian, never mind. The important
it's
thing
not
is,
bad.
as they say, is to participate. I hope you enjoy the quiz again. Yeah? That was good. Thank you for coming and playing with us. And thank you, Matthew. And thank you,
Thank you,
Patricia.
guys.
Thank you
Until
so
next
much.
time. Okay, and with Guess What? We end the first show of this season. As you know, we can find all the episodes and sections of the Weekly Mag on the internet. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, don't forget to visit us on social media and post the solution to the guess word puzzle by Maru Serra, which is to transfer goods between prisoners in a small room. That's 4 letters. We invite you to stay tuned, keep up your English, and have a great week. Bye-bye.